Uh, Good evening, everybody. This is our annual joint board of directors and citizens advisory committee meeting. Glad to see so many faces here tonight. At this time, I would ask the clerk for a roll call of the board of directors, please.
Director Cheyenne Wright.
Here.
Director Nicole Wiltshire.
Here.
Secretary Arthur Perry. Vice President Robert Uten.
Here.
President Michael Schaefer.
Here, Director Perry has an excused reason for not being here this evening. Public comments? Anybody from the public wishing to speak? Separate from the agenda or? Okay, then head up to the microphone.
Yeah,
I need to take roll call for the CAC first.
You want to speak under public comments?
well, I guess that's where input comes, right?
Well, your input on the agenda items will come later.
Yeah, now this is something not necessarily on here.
Okay. Then go ahead and take the roll call and then we'll do public comments.
Thank you. Committee member Brooke Natsky. Paul Lancaster.
Here.
Dicky Fernandez.
Here.
Craig Holmes.
Here.
Rosemary Chora. Xerxes Kalilung. Cindy Brenneman.
Present.
Jeff Arbor.
Present.
Vice Chair Muckleto.
Here.
Chair Sue Lester.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Holmes, you want to make public comment on something not on the agenda, correct?
Correct.
All right, then I'm going to ask you to, well, this will record here.
This will work, right?
Stay right where you're at, bud.
Nice.
Good.
No, I was just wondering, about the recycling. So we just all started recycling and I've noticed that my container, you know, I have maybe this much in my 64-gallon container and I talked to some of my neighbors and they're like, yeah, we'll never get to filling that up. So I thought, well, is it a consideration maybe to think about staggering the pickup for the recyclables? Because I suspect a lot of people don't have a lot that they're putting in those cans. And to see the trucks now coming, 3 trucks a day and so intense, maybe that could be staggered to like an every other week thing where now, and there's bound to be some people that are obviously going to say, well, I have a lot more recyclables. Perhaps they could be put on a special list or they could have more frequent or be encouraged to go to a recycling center. But I think you could maybe consider looking at the quantities and maybe be able to cut back on
I think,
some of those.
I know in my neighborhood, depends on how much Amazon shopping you do.
Yeah,
To figure, but I agree, I don't put everything, I don't put enough to put my barrel out or my can out every week.
yeah.
I wait, but it's certainly, well, Scott, I don't know if you have any,
Anyway, I just wanted to raise that up. You all can think about it.
Comment on that, President Schaefer?
What's that?
You want me to comment?
just, if you have any.
Sure. We did research staggering service when
You did?
before we implemented the recycling card system, we looked at that and we did find an Avalon out of Catalina was one of the only cities in Southern California that has staggering services. So we did look into it, but it just wasn't cost effective. It was expensive. So that's why we didn't implement it.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I don't have much recycles in it, so I don't put it out. And that would mean the truck wouldn't have to pick it up. But the truck would still come by every day and the people that did put it out, they should have the opportunity to have it picked up. You can also get a smaller can.
Yeah. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Okay.
Appreciate the comment, yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay, we have all the roll calls done. Then at this point, I will turn the meeting over to the CAC chair. Sue, it's all yours.
Let's go to the opening items. First item is to approve the Citizen Advisory Committee meeting minutes for July 9th, 2025. Does anybody have any comments or?
Move to approve.
have a
Second.
motion? Yeah. All those in favor?
Fine.
Aye.
So you want to stay?
What is the protocol if you're not at a meeting?
If you weren't at the meeting and you can't really check them, you can abstain. from it.
Abstain.
I beg to differ with that comment. If you've read the agenda, you can vote on it. I've been in meetings where council said, yeah, you could do that. So,
Okay, so I guess either is acceptable.
yeah. But as long as they say, as long as they've read the agenda and understand it.
That's good to know. Thank you. An item, consider approving the Citizen Advisory Committee fiscal year 2025-26 work plan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So according to the Citizens Advisory Community Handbook, the general manager on an annual basis would meet with the board president and the CAC chair to review or look at possible topics to discuss in the upcoming year. This year, we also met with Vice Chair Makoto, and we did meet on August 21st last month. So we did, in your staff report is a list of items that the group thought it would be good for this committee to do and discuss. And so the plan is before you today for any comments, suggestions. If there's anything you want to add to the plan, now's the time to do it. If you like it, just, we can always approve the plan, but this is your opportunity to comment and make any additions to the plan.
Anybody have any suggestion?
I left my notes out in the car. There are items in probably the general manager's work plan. I did look at the CAC work plan. There are items in there that are not in the strategic plan. And I think those, I only had a couple hours, so to look at it, but I think those should be coordinated. There are items in the work plan, out of my car, in the CAC work plan that are subparts of the strategic plan items. And they should be also in the strategic plan. I think the names are sometimes different. And the one name that I noticed that was different was, I forget what it's called in the strategic plan, but the common name for the name in the CAC plan was Pay As You Go, which is the name of a plan that is also named in the strategic plan, but it has a different name. And so, those things, there needs to be some more coordination.
That could be confusing if we're calling the same thing by two different names. I would
Yeah.
think.
Yes. And also, if there's new ideas that are in the CAC work plan or the general manager's work plan that are not in the strategic plan, I think those should be coordinated and they should not be part of the CAC plan or the general manager work plan. If they're important enough to be in the work plan, they ought to be important enough to be in the strategic plan.
Agree with that.
And so I didn't have time to go down through them, but I noticed several new items in the CAC plan that is not in our strategic plan. It's a lot of work. But I think there should be an increased, there should be an evaluation of the three plans together. And maybe we need to amend the strategic plan. Anyway, I'm blathering on.
What's the best way to tackle that?
I need to, I can look at the plan and see which work items it adheres to our plan, and I can come back and I can write down in the plan what specific element that this topic applies to. I can bring that back. I think it's not a problem. You want to see specific or much more time?
I don't know if any of these are time sensitive. They're in the CAC plan.
I mean, you could tentatively approve the plan today, tonight, and again, the next time we meet, I can, so that way that doesn't hold us up. Tentatively approve it tonight, and I can bring it back at your next meeting with the list of what items are tied to the strategic plan.
The other thing that we had talked about was, I think it usually happens right around budget time in June, where the board of directors reviews CR&Rs requests for, I believe it's a CPI increase that can be up to 5%. And it's, for those of you on the CAC that aren't familiar with it, is, there's a clause in the contract with CRNR, and please correct me if I say this wrong, I'm trying to do the Cliff Notes version here.
Right.
Where, every year they can ask for an additional 5% CPI increase above and beyond what they have already been paid. And the board doesn't have to give it to them. It's one of those things that they're allowed to ask for it every year, and every year the board votes on it. But the board is under no legal obligation to give them the 5%. And I think it translates, it's several $100,000, isn't it? It's a lot of money. So I would like to see that.
On here, it's on the March 11th.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, it's on this, it's number 4 on March 11th, 2026.
Mind? I don't have a 4.
Scroll
Yeah,
down.
it's, I'm looking at the wrong paper. I'm looking at the wrong paper.
Yep.
Okay, well, there you have it. Okay, yeah, thank you. I was looking at the old paper. I apologize, having the new one right there. Did anybody else have any suggestions, questions, anything that's on here? Nope, okay. Can I get a motion to approve with,
Move to
approve
approve.
this with the items that, Bob wants us to revisit, but this will get us going and then we can add or modify as necessary?
Yeah, move to approve and bring back for any additional discussion or amendments at the November 12th meeting.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none? Number 3, formulating questions for the 2025 countywide citizen engagement survey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is a very important tool that we use to engage with our residents on the level of service that we're providing, and really want to know what they think of us. And so every other year, we don't do it every year, we do it every other year. We will survey our residents, and we survey 1,000 of our residents, which is almost 1% of the population, which is a large sampling size, which we've been told many times doesn't have to be that high. But I've always a firm believer if someone wanted to challenge us or refute us of the direction we're going, this is good to hang on. Say, look, 1,000 of our residents supported this, so that's why we're going this direction. So it's extremely helpful, not only knowing what kind of service we're providing, but also helps us engage if we want to implement a new program. What's the comfort level of our residents if we implement a new program? For example, before we went to the organic recycling program, we surveyed the residents, and when we learned from the community that they supported the organic recycling program, it gave the board that ammunition, that direction, that okay, it's good, we can move forward and implement the organic recycling program. This year, one items we want to engage with the residents is a variable rate system, or as in your work plan, pay-as-you-throw program, where different size carts will be charged different sizes. So the more you throw away, the more you're going to pay, right? So that's something we want to look into. And that's something if the community would support that, then we would share that with the board, or if not, we would share that with the board. So we recently did an RFP to hire a professional consultant to do our surveys. We received 6 proposals. Surprisingly, 5 out of the 6 proposals were from out of state, which was very unusual. But we did receive one proposal for here in Southern California from Pawlowski Research, and his proposal was considered best value. So today I did enter the contract. I signed a contract with Pawlowski Research. Adam Pawlowski is here in the audience today, so he will be listening to you and hearing what kind of questions you want to recommend to the board. We will bring this back to the board later this year to fine tune what kind of questions they want to ask students. But first off, to kick this off, we want to hear it from you, from the public. We want to know what kind of questions you want us to consider on the survey, or have the board consider to put on the survey. So this is your opportunity to hear from you. What do you want to ask the residents?
Well, I have some questions, but I'd rather let everybody else go first. If somebody else has it, you might. Did everybody hopefully have a chance to look? There was a link to the actual questions that they asked last time. I think it's 39 or 40 questions that they asked.
Scott, can you remind us, remind me the timing of when the survey goes out, the duration of the survey, and the time in which you're going to analyze and prepare those results for a presentation?
Yes, I think I have on your work plan a date when we're supposed to bring it back for review. I thought we said,
January
It's March.
14th. January 14th, review and comment on community-wide survey.
yes, so yeah, yeah, so the goal is to get the survey done by the end of the year. So,
For the year.
yeah, so.
I think just a very generalized, now, question, one more thought related to a question, is how people are perceiving the new three-cart system. Kind of want to get more at how that's working, if there's any, this is more of a fill this bubble in, but they can remind me, can they also fill in, their own questions or comments at the end of this at the end of this? Or just A, B, and C?
Yeah, no, actually, it's all gonna be.
Community calling.
It's all gonna be on the phone.
Okay.
We will have a focus group. We are gonna do one focus group, which is was interesting with it, get more engaged in that group. That will be a FaceTime conversation type, but most, 1,000 calls will be on a phone call and some text messages, right, and emails. So there are some ways to answer those questions.
Is there some qualified answers maybe that people can help expand on related to their experience with the three-cart rollout, as well as how they best understand what goes into what cart, so that we can increase our compliance along the way for what goes into this cart, and that cart? Because it does get us to that discussion around solid waste contamination fees and,
Right.
Ensuring that people are following the rules and what goes into what bin. So this is very general.
So that's very good.
Related to those lines of questions.
I know last year there were several questions about rolling out the three-cart system and how people felt about it and if they knew about it and all that. So clearly those will all go away and make room for something else. I was thinking a good idea might be to somehow incorporate fines, the conversation about fines for non-compliance. It's an ugly topic and nobody really likes to talk about it, but I know we had discussed in recent meetings about, unfortunately, the only way to get people to comply sometimes is if you cite them for repeated offenses. So I don't know if this type of survey would be.
So that question, do you support finding people
The-
not in compliance? Is that the kind of question you want me to ask?
I know the answer.
I mean, that's a good point, but how do you,
Are you aware
okay.
that the new guidelines under SB 1383 allows for or recommends potential fines for repeated non-compliance? So they know it's coming from SB 1383. It's not just the Sand District wanting to swoop in and find people.
Okay, I read you now. I got it.
I see all kinds of hands going up here.
I have my hand up. You both have commented on two things that I've listed, but I actually have a piece of paper that I can just give to you with my ideas.
Awesome.
And
Great.
so some of them have already been mentioned, and I think the one I want to mention here is that the 23 survey really focused on compliance related topics and offering a future vision and kind of open-ended future vision opportunity for people to respond to, so that maybe to kind of counterbalance the compliance, and maybe there's some additional ideas out there. And then I can give this to you.
Yeah, I give it to Delana behind you. She'll take it. Thank you. Awesome.
We get a copy of that too, please? Thank you.
In regards to kind of leading with the nice rather than leading with the, oh, you get a fine and you get a fine, and you get a fine. I do like the open-ended question. And instead of asking are you aware you're going to get a fine for this? I think to address it like asking is, what, if anything, would make it easier for you to properly sort your trash, recycling, and organics? And it's really more of an open-ended question in terms of asking is, what would make it easier for you to be compliant, rather than you get a fine if you don't do this.
No, I absolutely agree. I love your question, but I do think at some point a question should be posed. I'm not necessarily saying the way that I said it, but that under SB 1383, there's fines that could be, relayed somehow, because people are gonna start getting noticed the written warnings, and they already have, I do believe. But I think somehow that word, the actual word,
No.
be worked into something to see. I mean, nobody likes the idea of a fine. But just because it's an unpleasant conversation doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't have it.
Yeah, and nobody does like a fine for themselves, but if it's couched in the value of the service and the cost when people don't comply, and then fairness.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Is there a warning before we find people?
Several.
Yes.
Yeah.
We give
Many.
several warnings.
How about we introduce the word warning as well into that phrase?
Yeah.
Because we only use it.
Numerous warnings.
Well, we gotta say how many.
It's a process.
No, also, one more additional thing is to add a question. It may already been there, but are you aware of the district special collection program, such as household hazardous waste or bulky items? Yes or no?
Those are on
And-
there.
Okay, they are in there.
Yeah, they are.
Perfect. Okay, so.
And it asked, at least last time they asked for feedback. What's your
And-
favorite program, that kind of stuff.
It's just nice to just remind them, and even though they know, it's just, hey, would you like to be reminded that?
Absolutely. The other thing I was wondering is, have you ever on any of the surveys, I looked at the last one in the year before. Have you ever asked anybody if they've heard of Living Green? Do you know what Living Green is? Do you guys all know what Living Green is? That's where I'm asking. So the sanitary district sends this out. They mail it to everybody's
Oh, yeah,
house.
yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so you.
Okay.
I just didn't know how to
what it's
name,
called.
yeah, didn't know how to.
But, I know snail mail is so hit and miss these days because a lot of people don't get anything mailed, everything's online. But, you guys put so much valuable information in this. I don't know if there's an easier way to make it accessible on your website, so people see it immediately.
The 23 survey, when they asked about preferences for delivery, mail was still the top preference. But reconfirming those preferences going forward probably is a good idea.
Double check. It might not have been 2023, but might have been previous surveys.
Okay, cause I didn't see it on the last one. And then the other thing, I think would be great if incorporated into the questions could be, information about your compost event and your shredding event and, the Eco Expo. There's so much valuable information and people love free stuff. And I think that's, a big opportunity to hopefully hit them with something that sounds exciting.
As a follow-up to your suggestion is, I would ask is, how would you like to receive, information regarding, some of the programs, and it's whether it's social media or email or just physical mail or print mail. And it may be something that you might be surprised that people want it to be the easiest. And I would think that people would want something that just comes to their phone and just says, oh yeah, this little social media post about the green, the green program, green guide.
And then the other thing, when I read.
Before we
Yeah,
move
quick
off
one.
Living Green,
Okay.
I just one comment. Timing on that thing is really important. And then what I mean by timing is, that I don't know if we have control as to which day of the week that gets to the residents. You know why? What do you get on Tuesday in your mail? Junk mail, that big thick thing with all the market coupons and all. So that thing, if it goes out on Tuesday, could get mixed in with it. My mailman complains about that day of the week every Tuesday.
All the ads and
It's all that ads. And so if that thing gets put out on Tuesdays, we lose a lot of value, I think.
I think this usually comes by itself because I always
I
see
think
it
it
and
did.
I chuck the ads
I-
a lot too.
Mine when he hands it to me, it goes right into the recycle bin. That junk, all that stuff.
But
Just-
I mean, this is,
Just a thought.
it's so well put together and there's so much information and there's so much of it that's translated into Spanish, which I think we have a huge demographic of people that would really benefit from all of this information. So if we can incorporate that into the survey, I think it would be.
I have a quick question for the staff. Are we taking I agree that the newsletter is really valuable. Are we taking the content from the newsletter and creating social media content out of it? Like individual pieces of content? Okay, just curious.
How are we reaching out to the people who are responding to the survey? How are the survey respondents knowing?
How do we find them? How do we?
Yeah.
I can have Adam talk about that if he wants to, but he has a method, I think it's voting records, or he has a variety of methods of finding people and their phone number. It's all public information.
So is it a telephone survey? I forget.
Cell phones, cell phones, landlines, emails, text messages. It's a variety of
Okay.
methods we contact.
I was just wondering if the folks are reaching, the way we're reaching out in getting in contact with people could skew, those are the people who are telling us that they would prefer mail. So point is, I don't know, if we're reaching, I find it hard to believe that 61% would prefer to receive information and updates Costa Mesa Sand via mail.
Yeah.
But that is what it says in the, right? So I think something's wrong, maybe, or maybe it's me, generational thing, but I feel like someone like me who's running around all the time, something like a ping on my phone or something would make sense for me. So anyway, I was just trying to figure out how we get, if it's just who we're actually getting a hold of is giving us results that are giving us, that's not representative of the whole service group.
Generationally speaking, older people like to look at, like, see it. It's easier than trying to read on a phone, or I can't speak for everybody.
Majority of our respondents are at 65.
That's Bob.
So the result would be skewed if you got it by mail, just says, yeah, I would like it by mail. As opposed to if you got it through some kind of like a
Thank you.
social media poll, it would be saying, yeah, I want it to be this. And if you did it both by mail and social media, you'd get a very, very much more balanced response in terms of they would want to do it by, social media or district website or local news outlet or friends or neighbors or something like
And
that.
they get all that too, which is good because it shows the demographic of who it was they got the answers
Yeah.
from.
Well, is it possible that people are saying they'd rather have it delivered by mail because they're tired of their email inboxes getting filled up with promotions?
It's possible.
Yeah. I think that's why.
Well, I mean, let's do a show of hands. Who rather gets it by mail? Or the people that are here? Raise your
I
hand.
like it by mail.
I like mail.
Hey, Paul, tell me.
I get tired of doing all that.
Oh, actually, depending on what it is. People get a lot of stuff in email and you just sometimes don't
Right.
want to look at it.
I get a lot of stuff through the Facebook and social media, and I get really happy when I see, because I'm involved, but I see that, that it's all the stuff coming from the district is like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that you guys are very active, and so I'm just letting you know that I'm getting it.
And then I just have one other comment and it's sort of a question. Obviously, I am not well versed in the best way to write a survey. But why don't we come straight out and ask people, have you had a missed trash pickup? Because we ask them if they're happy with their service, and then we ask them if they're not happy with their service, why they're not happy with their service. And then there's an assortment of answers that they get, some of them make absolutely no sense because I think they're just making stuff up, but you never know. But there, nowhere in here do we come straight out and ask them, in the last 12 months, have you ever had a missed pickup?
It's on there.
It is in there.
I think it's on there because it asks for the reason why, and one of the reasons was it was a holiday.
We can, look at that again, and if we're not.
Okay, because I'll,
Yeah, it's a good question to ask.
yeah, all I saw was, are you satisfied? Are you not satisfied? Do you realize, you know, if you had a missed pickup, was it because of a holiday? I know there's so many questions in here, and I was bouncing back and forth between the last two surveys. Does anybody else have any suggestions? Go ahead.
I just wanted to know, do we have enough balanced questions regarding the other half of the sanitary district, which is the sewer and wastewater service? Do we have enough of those questions that would balance?
There are several that they've had about the,
I just don't want us just to
no, they,
focus just on
In the past, our service have been heavy-handed on the solid waste side. It's just.
That's
it's
what I
more
mean.
Visible, but we do ask some wastewater questions,
Yeah.
you know, like, are they aware of their sewer inspection program, the rebate program? Are they-
yeah, the rebate program.
Have they experienced any cockroaches, right? Stuff like, we experience, we do ask some questions, but it is going to be more driven by solid waste.
Yeah.
survey
Yeah.
can roll up if we can.
So I just wanted to make sure that we have enough balance.
Yeah, I don't, it's not gonna be 50-50, it's not gonna be something like that, but there will be some, there will be wastewater questions.
Get on my phone.
Scott, I had asked you to put a couple things in the survey, and you wrote them down. Do you have them?
Right, well,
somewhere?
It's in my, yes, I have,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Two other things, I'm gonna jump around a little. Two other things that showed up in the CAC work plan that weren't in the strategic plan was the contamination fee. And I didn't understand what that meant. And also apparently there's scheduled to be a wastewater master plan. And it's not in the strategic plan, but it's in the CAC plan. So there are a few items that need to be figured out. I've been a big proponent of, in the survey, well, one of the things I asked you to put in the survey was, something to make people aware of that that we can change their cart sizes and that we pay a substantially different rate for the 3 carts that are picked up. The recycled cart is like $17 a ton. The organics cart is $80 a ton. And the landfill cart is something in the 70s. So I think if people were aware of that, I think that would be a talking point for getting them to recycle, because it'll eventually cost us less. And hopefully that would mean it would cost the residents less. And I know we're doing a lot of thinking still on education, and the latest big piece we put out was what to put in which cart. And it was an improvement over what we had put out before. So, I mean, that'll be a we've only been doing the blue cart or the recycled cart since October. So these things take potentially years to mature. My neighbor, we took away one of his landfill carts. And so he told me any extra landfill material, it just goes in the recycle cart because he only has, or in the organics cart. So having him put that extra weight in the recycle cart doesn't cost a lot, but if he puts it in the organic cart, then it just depends on which one has space. Because he only has one landfill cart left. There's a possibility that he could change the size, but I don't think he's going to do that. We're faced with the potential on the sewer side with debt. And we've asked, I think in the past, Sue, you might look at it. You have the surveys in front of you, and I think Brooke, you're looking at the surveys. And we've asked a question about debt financing in the past, and we're probably headed towards potential debt on the sewer side with the Eldon, with the second Eldon force main. See, I had. I'll stop there. I'll probably get a chance to talk about this more later.
Anybody else have any other questions? And I wrote down all the questions for you, but they're chicken scratch, so I can always just like type it up and send it to you so you can read it.
Just one more.
Yeah.
A question related to like, with my home, my wife likes to put that little, like what to put into the organics, and it's always checks on me. It's like, hey, that goes in the organic, or that doesn't go in the organic. And I'm going like, no, I'm on the citizen advisory committee. It's like, yeah, but you're not following this thing. You need to do this. And so what I'm really finding very useful is that little thing that I think it's a magnet or a sticker
On the refrigerator?
on the refrigerator, and it is perfect because it always checks me in terms of that. And so the question would be leading is, would you like more, refrigerator magnets or something to remind you to do that thing? And if it's in your face, it's always going to remind you that this is what you need to do to educate the citizens to do it properly.
Because I know we have the labels on the cans and you used to pass out those magnets. Do you guys still have those, or is that something from before? Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
but the magnets or either that or a sticker, it's on my board or it's on my refrigerator. And
Yeah,
it's,
no, I have one on my refrigerator too.
We're married to the same woman and I'm on the board of directors of this.
oh,
My
dear.
wife says, you're putting that in the wrong can.
Exactly.
And I say, I'm on the board of directors. I'm not putting it in the wrong can. She's usually right.
Yeah.
She's always right, but
And so, and any time also is if I don't need Google anymore because my wife knows everything.
Don't you forget it.
That's right.
I use that as a joke.
Anybody else have any suggestions for questions?
Well, let me,
This-
let me, will the board get a chance to go over this separately?
Yes, we're gonna bring back to later,
Not in closed session. but-
later in the month, we'll bring back, finalize the questions with the board.
before March,
No, end of this month, I plan on bringing it.
this month.
Yeah, this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I heard that.
should
wrong.
we, would it be better to try to get them to you as the survey is being developed?
If you want to send it to me now, or we can, have them discuss on your next board meeting in September.
We need to get the
Oh,
information
September.
that.
Yeah,
That's-
the sooner we get it
Develop.
to Adam, the faster you can get started working on this.
Let me ask Adam, Mesa surveys 500 people and we survey 1,000. So Mesa's survey is not as good as ours.
True, true.
I mean, I could. Yeah, I'll try to respond. I mean, again, as I said earlier, I've been told
Being
our
recorded. sample
sample size is quite large and we don't have to have sample size that large if we want to save some
Yeah.
money. But again, what I said earlier, I like having a large sample size like that because it's pretty hard to refute 1,000 people what they say versus 500, right? So I just,
Mesa must think it's hard to refute 500 people.
it's a policy decision.
Well, and if everybody hasn't had a chance to look at it, I recommend that you go on the 2023. It's really easy to find on the website.
Sure.
And it has the customer opinion survey, like the Cliff Notes version of what they found. And then they have the 800-page report that literally breaks down every single call they made. Which, I'm not saying you need to read that whole thing, but then it also has all 40 questions. So if all of you haven't had a chance to look at it, it's valuable to see the information that they did get back that was, 80%, which is pretty impressive. So I would encourage everybody to do that. You don't have to kill a tree like I did.
Thank you very much for the call. These are great suggestions. Greatly appreciate it.
Okay, moving right along. the 2025-2026 alkaline battery recycling program.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So this program is kicking off now. And the reason why I brought it back today is we did this last year where we kicked off the program with the Citizen Advisory Committee and we asked for suggestions, and you came up with some really good suggestions. You know, the best, one was the signs in front of the schools, and so we thought, well, let's do it again. Let's bring it back to the CC, see if you have any other suggestions that could help us. Yes, I mean, it'd be helpful because
So I'm really happy that the yard sign at the schools were helpful. Yes, thank you.
Third sign?
I don't know what the possibility is of maybe extending the locations, yard signs, and if the parents are willing to put it into their neighborhoods and then put it into their personal, that would be kind of a nice thing. And so you offer the parents a choice to be able to contribute, be civically minded, and then be able to do that. And if they're able to do that for political signs, why don't they do it for recycling signs? Also, Newport Boulevard is an amazing place. And so I don't know our ability to put it into public spaces.
Sign code.
A sign code, but maybe maybe to have apply for a waiver just for that week, and then just say, hey, it's for recycling. I think we might be able to get some kind of a waiver to allow us to do that just for that recycling week. You'd be surprised at what kind of response you might be able to get.
So, and where was that again?
So personal, families to put it in their yard,
Oh, yeah. Like a sign, like campaign signs.
like a campaign sign, but it'll be a recycling, sign. And then again, appeal to the school kids and they say, Mom, I want to put this sign in our yard. And the parents will go like, fantastic. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. But one more thing is to just, since it's recycling week, apply for, a waiver to put a sign on just Newport Boulevard, because people are utilizing that as a main thoroughfare. And I think we're getting like 35,000 cars going through there a day, if not more.
Yeah, it's great. We'll explore that. I like the idea of the sign at the home, but the sign on Newport, it might be a little more pragmatic, but we'll take a look at that.
You can put them alongside Newport Boulevard. I wouldn't recommend going through the waiver process because
Don't ask.
no. I would comply with the present signage requirements by the city, which are adequate. Once you put them in a place where realtors or politicians or others who put out signs see that, they're gonna turn you into the code enforcement people. And the code enforcement people, unless you have the waiver, I wouldn't, and it's not necessary.
I love the yard idea. My next door neighbor's a teacher, and I know if I asked her to put a sign in her yard, she would do it in a second. And then I know Cindy Brenneman is on Zoom, but she mentioned this before in a meeting, and I think it's a great idea, so I'm gonna mention it again. When you guys give your award for the people who win, instead of just mailing it to them or delivering it to them, I'm not sure how you guys do it. Cindy suggested that it would be a great idea to invite the winners to a board meeting. So you can record them winning the money and then put that on the
And they'll
website
post it.
as a promotion for the event the next time it comes up, or even ask the city of Costa Mesa, CMTV, to run it on their channel when they do all the stuff for the city council, what's happening in the city, to maybe get a little extra kick that
Yeah.
way. But these schools seem to be really fighting for the front, the front spots. And I think if we get a little more advertisement, and see people, woohoo, we got a check and everybody applauds and all that, and it's more formal, it might help. So that was Cindy's idea.
Madam Chair.
Oh, there's Cindy.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. I appreciate it, Madam Chair. That's what I was going to mention. I love this program. I think it's a great program. And what I was specifically thinking was the top three, right? Prior to the start of a regular meeting or a CAC meeting or one of the joint meetings, and doing the check presentation, again, just in the spirit of competition and getting some more, maybe getting some more schools involved when they see what it can accomplish. So I think it's a great program and I love to see it going forward. Thank you.
And they also made these awesome little flyers. There's one in Spanish and there's one in English. And I actually learned something from these. I didn't realize that the little disc batteries didn't count until I saw this. So these are really easy to download off of the website and share them on your social media page or on Costa Mesa Buzz or Costa Mesa whatever page. So hopefully everybody will take advantage of that too. Jeff, did you have a comment? And then
Oh, sorry. Just if I recall correctly, I'm going by memory. Believe, does somebody from Costa Mesa Sanitary District go to the school to deliver?
The board members did. We used to do that. And then we said staff. I think COVID kind of threw that in a ruffle. But prior to COVID, there was a board member that always go to a school and present like the big check to everyone down at school assembly, which everyone liked. And then after COVID, I think staff was doing it for a while. So that's what
That's what you're doing. So I think, just my thought, just knowing teachers and stuff, I don't know who would really, maybe you might get a higher level of engagement going to the school than having the school, just my thought, that instead of having teachers and stuff take time to come to a board meeting, just my 2 cents, but something, so it could be a little, a little bit of a celebration perhaps at the school. Maybe you might get more children engaged in that way too, just.
Yeah, absolutely.
We used to go to the flag deck. which
Yeah,
they
flag
do on
deck,
Friday.
perfect, right.
It was always towards the end of when we did it, it got to be a little difficult. And, the principal gets to decide what goes out in the flag. And there's a lot of principals that were resistant to us being there.
Interesting.
odd.
It is,
Like so
yeah.
much money and you don't want them to come and give it. to
Our
you.
Lions Club
Odd.
gives an award to every school in Costa Mesa. We ask the principals to nominate a staff or teacher to get a $100 check. Out of the 23 or schools or whatever it is, about 5 have taken us up on the program. They just don't seem to want to give the money to the team. We found a check, or one of our members found a check on a principal's desk that was 2 years old
Wow.
that he never gave to the teacher who earned it. So there is some, I hate to be Debbie Downer on this thing, but there is some resistance from some principals at these schools to getting awards. I used to enjoy going to the school. It was a real kick,
Right.
but I think we could probably massage that and get it.
Yeah,
back.
can we reach out like in advance and just be proactive?
Oh, yeah.
Scott, does the promotion for the schools that decide that they want to be part of the program, the promotion to their students and families, is that done on an individual school basis? Or does the district, through Peach Jar, which they use to share a lot of information on a daily and weekly basis during the school year, is that where that information flows to students and families?
It's sometimes a challenge with Peach Jar. Sometimes if it's doesn't under strict guidelines, they'll kick it back. And sometimes I had to go to the superintendent to get approval for that. So that's a kind of a challenge sometimes with administrators about this program. So we give all the tools they need, but they really run it on their own. So we give them, here's what you can use to educate it. But it's really up to the schools on how much they want to educate the public.
He's on meeting. Isn't this Newport Mesa School District part of that, or is it just the Water City?
It's everybody.
School districts.
Why don't you hammer the people at that meeting? Like, hey, we're
Well,
trying to give,
And it's not just public schools, we do the private schools too. The private schools.
but at least you can bring it up with the members of the district trustees
Yeah, we-
or?
Oh, we do. We share this to, we have a liaison committee. We share the results to, in the liaison committee and, the school district. They love it. Right. And gosh, the last time we shared it, I think the assistant superintendent, she was going to share with all the schools. Did she do that? I don't know, but they like the program.
Another question in terms of who can provide batteries. So for instance, there is neighbors, maybe their children are older, right? Or they don't have children, but hey, I have batteries. I want to help Kaiser Elementary. How are they participating?
I think that's a challenge because they're not gonna let strangers come up to the school grounds and drop
Right.
off batteries for safety
Yeah.
reasons, right? So if someone wants to participate, they're gonna have to find a student and give the batteries to the student.
Okay. So schools are not doing anything kind of where they could, no, that's its own problem.
Every
of
drop
Trying to, yeah, that's its own issue. So got it.
I've worked in a private school in Costa Mesa that participated in the program, and we had one staff member who really promoted the program, and we've never won like the top money, but being a teacher and understanding school governance, it has to be simple and done for you because it's such a difficult job and you're doing so many different things. And I wonder if there's an opportunity, I mean, there's the monthly pickup, which is awesome. If there's maybe one push around Earth Day or something where there's a embedded competition within the schools just for a 1 week push, or something that happened earlier in the year that then can build over time, because you're increasing schools on a regular basis, and maybe just increasing the number of batteries in each school is a better focus. And then the other thought I had around visibility is kids they thrive being exposed to this kind of environment and seeing how things work. And so I do like that idea of there being some aspect of that can be incorporated in. It's great to have people come to the school and deliver things, but if there's an opportunity for kids to travel somehow, but then of course that's, anyway, there's lots of logistical things. That's another thought.
If we could bring a garbage truck to the winning school, right? Let's bring us to them.
Well, I think part of the explanation that we know about and the schools may not is CRNR is our trash provider, and I don't know how many cities they serve, but they have one fire a week in their trash trucks based on lithium batteries catching fire. And the main culprit is the little batteries, but I mean, they've had bicycle batteries put in there and that's been the culprit. So they're having to spend $250,000 on sprinkler systems. But I think, that is something that I don't think most schools know. And I'm a big proponent of a pilot program in my area that gets the collection systems, and we have several of them, little buckets or little whatevers. Why don't you go out and get one, Scott? I don't think it costs much, but I think a pilot program in a particular school, giving out the way to collect the batteries in your garage or wherever, might improve the people's awareness.
Yeah.
And the label we have on these is not sufficient. What the label we put on those things that we give out on Earth Day or Eco Day or whatever it is, they tell where the county collection systems are. And they don't say anything about that the school has this program, or so we've got to amend or put an additional sticker on the ones we have. I've got 3 or 4 different ones that I've gotten from different places. And so I collect the batteries and I give them to my neighbor who has a kid in school. But I think a pilot, piloting, getting the containers into a particular school's residences might make a difference, or maybe that's a survey question. And what
Well,
would
yeah.
make the difference in the collection of the
Yeah.
batteries?
Getting into schools is a challenge, and I actually think I'm sorry if I interrupted. The idea that is formulating in my mind is actually a college scholarship. And it would be granted to a student that is an ambassador for the program that gets other schools to sign up. So you're incentivizing the expansion of the program, not through your own staff work, but by somebody who can go do that. Because it's difficult. And I think students who are going into college would be more incentivized to kind of that's kind of like easy, free money to go.
Great idea.
I have a question. So how aware is everyone the purpose of saving the batteries and what's the ecological advantages and all those things? Because people like to know, I wonder, where are they going? What is the real purpose? How many are being saved? What's the plus of it? Has that been addressed?
Well, yes, we, like Vice President Nguyen said, that they're hazardous, they catch fires in the trash trucks. They can leak mercury and contaminate the ground and possible groundwater, so you don't want to throw them away in the trash. So we do.
Those are the things that I think should be talked about.
Yeah.
Communicated to folks.
Absolutely. We've definitely done some stories on the fires where we show pictures of the trash trucks caught on fire because of the lithium batteries. We also every year we give a report to the board. We can do the CEC too, as far as how many batteries are collected every year. The battery, you just look at, I think even their staff report tonight, I think it lists how many pounds of batteries we've collected since the program started.
But is the public being told what the consequences of not treating this properly? What's the outcome?
Yes, we are doing that in our newsletter, in our social media. Yes, we are.
Possible opportunity, and I'll ask, is the first week of October is Fire Prevention Week. And all 6 of our fire stations, it's usually that first Saturday of the month. They all have an event on Saturday at the fire stations where they invite in the public, and they get a huge turnout because all the kids love going to the fire station. And since our Eco Expo is on the 1st, you might have some extra bling, or maybe even it could be something as simple if they're willing to allow it, or throw into their fire prevention a little thing about batteries. And oh, by the way, we have flyers here from the sanitary district. Do you know that your school can have a contest to win money? I think they might do it, and I'm happy to ask. Because they give away tons of information at those meetings about anything fire related. So that actually might be an opportunity coming up that you could tap into that would give more kids at more schools the opportunity to get their school involved on the front end of the program, as opposed to later in. If you want me to do that, I'm happy to ask, or I can tell you to call.
Would it be possible, I don't know if this is a crazy suggestion, but would it be possible to demonstrate like a controlled fire from a lithium battery? Because I think that a lot of people don't understand that if the battery gets punctured, like it kind of like bursts into flames. And I've only seen it on like social media.
I think it was some coordination to do with the fire department.
I mean, it would be,
Yeah.
like, Director Wright suggested bringing out a truck to the school. I think it could be part of the event.
Yeah, definitely.
Former insurance agent, that makes me.
It'll be there.
Yeah, right there.
I know they do it at Station 4. I know it's under construction for the new center. But a lot of times at those events, they do light stuff on fire, and they show people how to use fire extinguishers properly, because most people are like, "What?" And they're like, no, you have to start at the base and what. So that, I mean, that's not entirely that far out there, because they do light things. Now, whether they would want to do a battery, I don't know. But I can ask them. If you guys want me to ask, I'll ask.
Yeah, I mean, talk to my staff. and see
Okay,
if we-
and
do it.
even if they can just pass out the flyers or are willing to have the flyers there, I think you could get some.
Flyer
Correction.
with the data on the previous year's payouts. And how much closer, there were people just under the line, you know, that got less money than if a little more effort had been put into it.
Oh, I think it's worth exploring. Anybody else?
One last one, but it's kind of for the next topic too. Maybe for next year's EcoFest, build a battery booth that's also battery education and you can build like simple, very simple batteries. Something fun to learn more, connect, yeah, hands-on.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Great ideas.
Great ideas. Thank you so much.
Right along here, our last item, which is the favorite of all the things on this page. Our 4th annual Eco Expo.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn, Gina, who's good? Come up here. Okay, yeah, Gina's gonna do a presentation on our Eco Expo. It's coming up on October 1st.
You taking notes on this topic?
You developed this project.
All right, good evening, committee and board members. So tonight, I just wanted to provide an update on our upcoming Eco Expo on October 1st, 2 to 6:30 p.m. here at our headquarters. This year's event is going to include just about everything that attendees enjoyed from the previous year's events. But we are excited to be adding some new things, new activities and giveaways. So you can find the full list of activities in the staff report, but I did want to share some of the highlights. So we're going to have a pretty extensive Sort Smart booth where we'll be testing people's recycling knowledge and sharing different methods of sorting waste in the home. And as part of that, we're also going to include, we're going to provide sticker labels for people's indoor waste containers, which was a suggestion from the CAC. So thank you for that. We're going to be implementing it. And then we're also going to have what we call the propagation station, which is where we're going to be teaching people how to easily propagate edible plants. So things like lettuce, green onions, celery, things like this. We also have a beekeeper who's going to be there. So that's new and exciting for us. So we're going to put her next to the propagation station to kind of keep things intertwined. And then we're also increasing our number of partners. So this year we're going to have booths from the Newport Bay Conservancy, Discovery Cube, the Beekeeper, and also Mesa Water District. So these are all in addition to our regular partners. So it should be bigger and have more of a variety of topics this year, which we're really excited about. I also wanted to share that we're including some other CAC suggestions, like bringing back the Longboards ice cream truck and the Make and Take booth, which was where we had some of our staff members showing people how to make their own all-purpose cleaning solution and then customizing it with essential oils. So that was a big hit. And we're going to bring that back with a little bit of a twist. We're also continuing to research the use of geofencing. I know that was a CAC suggestion as well. And we may implement it depending on the remaining budget and staffing resources. We're figuring that part out, but thank you again for that suggestion. In terms of staffing, we are pretty well staffed for this event. We also want to thank the CAC for the volunteers who signed up. We're looking very good on staffing, but whether you're coming as a volunteer or not, we definitely want to invite you to come to the event, share it with all of your friends, family, neighbors, everyone you know, spread the word. And then lastly, in the staff report, we did include the event attendance history, just for your knowledge. And so last year we had the highest number of attendees with 175. So we are hoping to top that this year. As of today, we have 112 RSVPs. So we think we are on track to probably beat that. I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully we do. And there's more details in the staff report, but that concludes my updates. Happy to take any questions.
Does Isana have a booth?
They do not. No.
A booth?
We can make space for them if they would like
You
to.
don't have to-
Yeah, we do have a little room left inside the boardroom. We're getting a little tight in the outdoor section, but we can definitely
If
make.
you want,
space.
just get in touch with me. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, thank you.
You could use that adjacent room. You'd have to clean it up.
Yes. We could. I'm hoping to keep it a little tight in here just for security purposes. I know that leads to like people's offices. And like you said, we would have to clean the area, but it's possible if we do need it.
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I mean, if you guys have never been to this event, you have to go. It's such a great event and there's literally something interesting and something fun and something that can be learned by people of all ages that come. It's not one of those things where it's just for adults or it's just for kids or a group, a whole family will come. And when they're leaving, they're all talking about something that they liked about it. It's fun. It's a really, really fun event and they give you free ice cream. So if you haven't come, you really should. It's a lot of fun. They put so much work into it. It's beautifully done. And I just want to compliment you because last year your RSVPs were 189 and out of the 189 people that said they were coming, you had 175. And that's impressive because a lot of people generally don't show up for stuff they say they're going to come to, especially in a special district that they probably don't know anything about unless they want to complain. So, the work you put into it is just phenomenal and it sounds like it's gonna be better this year than it was last year. And last year was better than the year before and better than the year before that. So you guys just keep getting better. So hats off.
Really excited to go, and I'm also wondering, are you still looking for raffle item donations? And Filler Up Buttercup is what triggered me. Fermentation Farm in that same little section that
Yeah.
I mean, they're marginally related. When you started doing the propagation, I was like, oh, well, that could kind of be connected, related.
That's a good idea. I am still looking for raffle donations, so I will look into that.
And they're friends of mine. I taught their child, so I'm happy to facilitate that if you would like me to.
That would be great. Thank you.
I saw for advertising, we don't have the school district listed, so if possible, reaching out to our battery contacts could be good. Because it's
that
so
was-
family friendly, so.
Yeah, definitely. That was an error on my part. We do advertise to the school district through Peach Jar, but we can definitely add the battery program contacts as well.
Pretty good.
It wasn't your mistake, it was there. I didn't see it. So good job.
Yeah, very much. Let's go to closing items, committee member comments. We'll start down there with Brooke and work this way. If anybody has any comments that we haven't got out, everybody, thank you for your participation tonight. Everybody had some great questions and great comments and suggestions, and it's impressive to see everybody contributing, and I love that. So thank you. Those are my comments. Looks like that's it for us. So board comments, staff. We'll do board first and then staff.
I would just, I think I say this every time we meet with you guys, but thank you for your participation. You took an hour out of your busy schedules and, as a board, we do appreciate. We may not say it very often, but we certainly appreciate everything you guys do. And thank you for being here and great comments.
A hot topic in the sewer world right now is PFAS. I don't know if you have room for, or can coerce the Orange County Sand District, into getting some public information on those forever chemicals. It's a really big deal.
So if you guys want, I can give you guys, anyone who wants to attend, give a tour, and I would include the PFAS.
Northwest toward Polarino Avenue.
Easy.
Not yet, mister. We're almost done, but
So we.
Fine if it's
Oh, Sam?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we-
I can go with you.
So all our projects are now subject to PFAS testing. It's a little bit depending on geographic location. But I had a project on the 55 where we had to test for PFAS.
People probably don't realize that the biggest contributor to PFAS are residents.
Yeah.
So what the residents need to know is what makeup, what body processes, washing yourself, and other flossing your teeth with the wrong floss is contains PFAS, and it's very common flossing materials. So I think those kinds of things, we could help the sand district.
Yeah, I mean, so when I give a tour, we have several tour guides at the district. But I'm one of the tour guides. When I give a tour, we spend about 30 to 45 minutes in the boardroom, and then we go into the plant and we show the plant. If any of the group wants, I'm happy to do it. We'll be there on a Tuesday or on a Thursday at 9 a.m. It takes about 2 to 2.5 hours. I think didn't we give a tour recently to some of Mark Esker's staff? Yeah. So you guys let me know. Yeah.
Definitely reach out to you, definitely. Set some up.
For like 7 years ago, I think.
Oh, it's much better now.
And it was super interesting. And I even drank, like, we went to the water district too and drank like the water that had been cleaned.
So I'll just give you a fun fact.
Water, loved that. Like,
Give you
that
a
was
fun
cool.
fact
And the
about
water
the-
actually tasted good, I thought.
Is we not only do wastewater treatment, we produce enough power to power half the city of Costa Mesa.
All through anaerobic digestion.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Super.
Yes.
Staff comments? Big bunch of nothing? Okay. So our next meeting will be, I do believe, next CAC meeting will be November 12th. And we will adjourn the meeting this week and we'll see you then. And we'll see everybody at